One of the most neglected part of healthy aging is our eyesight. As we age, our eye cells experience oxidative stress, inflammation, and even damage to the small blood vessels that nourish our retina. This is the reason why so many elderly folks suffer from blurred vision, dry eyes, or age-related macular degeneration. But here's the fascinating part. Science is now discovering that what you eat before bed can actually help repair some of this damage while you sleep. Your body enters a natural state of repair at night, and certain nutrients can supercharge that process. Today I am going to tell you about one powerhouse fruit, supported by research, that can restore and defend your eyes while you sleep. It's easy, cheap, and something most people neglect in their daily routine. When we discuss repairing the body and reducing the aging process, one thing is certain. The human body is an amazing machine, but it must be in the right environment to heal and repair itself. One of those essential conditions is sleep. It's not merely resting your mind. It's when your cells go through a full maintenance cycle, and this involves your eyes as well. Throughout the day, our eyes are subjected to constant exposure to light, environmental toxins, and oxidative stress. Blue light emitted from screens, ultraviolet light from the sun, and even minor fluctuations in blood glucose levels can harm the eye's delicate structures. The retina itself, for instance, is a highly energy-hungry tissue. It's densely populated with photoreceptor cells that take light and translate it into electrical signals for interpretation by the brain. These cells are active metabolically 24 hours a day, so they generate energy at a great rate but also gain damage from reactive oxygen species, or what's commonly referred to as free radicals. Now here's the interesting part. When you are sleeping, your body moves into what researchers refer to as a restoration state. Rather than responding to the continuous input and pressure from the outside world, your system goes inward, working on repair. The flow of blood to some tissues, such as the eyes, is enhanced at night. It has been found that melatonin, the body's sleep-wake cycle controlling hormone, also acts as a strong antioxidant within the eye. That implies that during your sleeping time, melatonin acts to neutralize some of the oxidative stress that accumulated throughout the day. But melatonin is not enough by itself. The body depends on essential nutrients to fuel its repair processes at night. Vitamins A, C, and E, as well as carotenoids such as lutein and zeaxanthin, play an important role in mending injured cells in the retina and safeguarding them against subsequent damage. If your diet is deficient in these substances, your eyes lack the building blocks they require to be properly maintained. Eventually, this failure to repair leads to the age-related eye issues so many elderly suffer from: macular degeneration, cataracts, or just declining eyesight with age. Consider it like this. When you sleep, your eyes are basically off-duty. They're closed, protected from light, and finally get some rest. This is the perfect time for the body to call in the nutrients, antioxidants, and oxygen to repair the damage that was done throughout the day. It's like getting maintenance done on a vehicle. You would not attempt to get the oil changed driving down the street. The body does not do its best repair work when you're awake and using your eyes either. It does it at night when all is quiet. There's also a growing field of study on what scientists refer to as autophagy, or literally self-eating. It's the mechanism whereby your cells recycle and digest damaged building blocks. Autophagy is increased when you're sleeping and fasting, two conditions that tend to coincide overnight. In the eye, autophagy disposes of malfunctioning proteins and damaged cellular structures, really allowing your retinal cells to begin anew. Without proper autophagy, trash accumulates in the eye, a characteristic of such diseases as age-related macular degeneration. Interestingly, scientists have discovered that the circadian rhythm, the internal clock of your body, has an enormous impact on eye health. The retina itself also has a circadian rhythm, dictating such things as light sensitivity and even the release of specific growth factors responsible for repair. If your sleep pattern is irregular, or if you fail to get enough quality sleep, this natural rhythm is thrown off. Over years, that disruption can speed up aging in the eye. This is one reason why individuals with night shift jobs or chronic insomnia tend to have more vision troubles later in life. Now, picture adding the body's natural nighttime repair mechanisms to a purposeful delivery of the proper nutrients before bedtime. Rather than fighting with limited ammunition, your body now possesses the weapons it needs to combat oxidative stress, fix damaged DNA and cells of the eye, and make the small blood vessels that supply the retina more resilient. That is why the food you consume at night, especially antioxidant-rich foods, can be so influential. For instance, research has revealed that some antioxidants are able to penetrate the blood-retina barrier, which actually means they get to the areas of the eye where they're most needed. Vitamin C assists in the regeneration of vitamin E, also an antioxidant that guards cell membranes against oxidative damage. Carotenoids such as lutein and zeaxanthin are laid down directly in the macula, the central area of the retina that enables clear, precise vision. They create a sort of barrier against the blue light and free radicals that do damage over time. Another interesting point is the function of omega-3 fatty acids, with DHA being of particular interest. The retina contains one of the highest concentrations of DHA in the entire body and plays a key role in keeping photoreceptor cells structured. When you eat foods high in omega-3 in the evening, you're giving the cells the building blocks to keep those essential cell membranes intact through the night when repair processes are at their peak. And let's not forget blood sugar regulation. Eating the wrong foods before bed, especially those high in refined carbohydrates, can spike blood sugar levels, leading to oxidative stress and inflammation that affect the microvasculature of the eye. On the other hand, low glycemic, nutrient-dense foods help maintain stable blood sugar, ensuring that repair processes aren't disrupted by metabolic stress. So it matters at night for eye health because it's when your body gets the opportunity to reverse some of the day's damage under the right circumstances. Quality sleep, a consistent circadian rhythm, and the right nutrients, your eyes can repair, renew, and remain healthier longer. Without them, the damage just keeps building and building, resulting in the vision issues so many accept as a natural part of aging. The good news is that aging eyes are not automatically doomed eyes. By learning about how night repair operates and complementing it with the correct nighttime nutrition, you can make a huge difference to the health of your eyes as you age. When considering eye wellness and getting older, one of the best weapons in our arsenal isn't in a chemist. It's not a fancy laser procedure or some fancy supplement. It's a lowly fruit, one that studies repeatedly demonstrate helps guard and even restore the fine tissues in our eyes. And here's the incredible thing. Most of us stroll right by it at the supermarket without knowing the remarkable health value it contains. The fruit is the blueberry. Blueberries are more than a delicious snack. They're among the highest natural sources of antioxidants, particularly substances known as anthocyanins. These are the compounds responsible for blueberries' intense blue hue, but they do a lot more than just provide color. Anthocyanins help to actively guard the cells within our eyes against oxidative stress and inflammation, two of the key causes of age-related vision issues. Let's take a closer look at why this is important. As we get older, the retina, the back of the eye layer sensitive to light, undergoes perpetual wear and tear. Each time light enters the eye, it produces energy. That energy is crucial for sight, but it also produces free radicals, unstable molecules that will harm cells unless they are canceled out. Across decades, this oxidative damage accumulates, damaging the photoreceptor cells and the retinal pigment epithelium, both of which are essential to clear, acute vision. Blueberry anthocyanins are potent antioxidants that sweep these free radicals away before they can reach tissues and do damage. In animal research, anthocyanin-fortified diets have been demonstrated to lessen retinal damage following intense light exposure. Human trials are also promising. In one clinical trial in Japan, for example, daily consumption of blueberry extract reduced eye fatigue and enhanced night vision in subjects with visual strain. These results indicate that the chemicals in blueberries not only block damage, but can actually repair eyes after damage has occurred. But antioxidants are only the beginning. Blueberries enhance blood circulation to the small capillaries of the eyes as well. The retina is the most metabolically active tissue in the body and demands a continuous supply of oxygen and nutrients. With age, circulation tends to decrease, depriving the eyes of the nutrients that they require. Anthocyanins assist in keeping the blood vessels healthy, elastic, and functional. This results in increased oxygen, increased nutrients, and ultimately improved repair mechanisms during sleep. Another essential nutrient in blueberries is vitamin C. We usually connect vitamin C with immune function, but in the eye it has a very specific purpose. It participates in recycling vitamin E, another antioxidant that keeps cell membranes from being damaged by oxidation. The lens of the eye especially counts on vitamin C to keep itself clear. Low vitamin C levels have been connected with increased risk of cataract, a vision impairment that affects many older people. By consuming blueberries, you're basically providing your eyes with the building blocks they require to combat this age-related blurring of vision. Then there's the inflammation link. Most eye diseases, such as age-related macular degeneration, AMD, and diabetic retinopathy, entail chronic low-grade inflammation. Anthocyanins possess anti-inflammatory activity that soothes the process at the cellular level. They block some signaling molecules, such as NF5, which perpetuate inflammation, providing protection to the retina from the gradual smoldering destruction that causes loss of vision over time. What's so fascinating about blueberries is that they seem to breach the blood-retina barrier. Similar to how the blood-brain barrier shields the brain, the blood-retina barrier shields the eyes from toxic substances. That anthocyanins are able to breach this barrier is that they actually make it to the areas of the eye where they're needed most. This is important because most nutrients never pass through these protective screens. So you may be thinking, why eat blueberries in the evening? This relates to what we were talking about previously concerning the body's natural repair mechanisms when sleeping. If you eat blueberries in the evening, you're giving your body a concentrated amount of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory substances just before it starts its nightly maintenance cycle. Rather than fighting to repair cells with scarce resources, your eyes contain just what they need to neutralize free radicals, decrease inflammation, and rebuild damaged tissue. The timing also helps to stabilize blood sugar levels at night. Blueberries have a fairly low glycemic index compared to most fruits, so they don't create dramatic spikes in blood sugar. This matters because elevated blood sugar can hurt the small blood vessels of the retina, an issue found in diabetic retinopathy. By opting for blueberries over a sweet dessert or evening snack, you're nurturing both metabolic and ocular health at once. And here's a little-known fact. Blueberries can also assist with the creation of melatonin, the sleep hormone. Beyond that, some research indicates that specific plant chemicals such as anthocyanins are able to affect melatonin pathways. Assuming this is correct, consuming blueberries in the evening may have a twofold benefit. It helps improve the quality of sleep and provides your eyes with nutrients to repair themselves more successfully throughout the night. How much? Most studies indicate that a daily dose of about 1 cup of fresh blueberries, or the same amount of frozen berries, will provide measurable health benefits. If they can't be found fresh, freeze-dried or powdered extracts of blueberries have had comparable effects in clinical trials. Consistency is the important factor. The antioxidant compounds of the blueberries store up in the tissues over a period, so the longer you consume them regularly, the more likely you are to gain an effect. There are those who wonder if they can just take a supplement rather than consume the entire fruit. Although blueberry extracts can be beneficial, whole berries contain a multifaceted blend of phytonutrients, fiber, and vitamins that collaborate together. Nature has a tendency to package its drugs in combinations stronger than single molecules, so wherever possible, the entire fruit is the superior option. The takeaway here is easy. By consuming blueberries at night, you're bringing up-to-date nutritional science in line with the rhythms of your own body. You're providing your eyes with precisely what they require, exactly when they can make the most efficient use of it. After weeks and months, this little habit can mean real, measurable gains in eye health, clearer vision, and potentially an even reduced risk of age-related eye disease. When we speak of repairing the body, particularly something as sensitive as the eyes, we must see what's really occurring on a cellular level. Prolonged aging in the eyes does not occur through any single causative factor. It occurs due to oxidative stress, inflammation, metabolic dysregulation, and even microvascular damage, all of which come together over several decades. But what's remarkable is that our bodies are not passive observers in this process. Every night while we sleep, our cells engage in repair work that is far more complex and coordinated than most people realize. And when we provide the right nutrients before bed, like those in blueberries, we can enhance these natural repair mechanisms in a way that protects and even rejuvenates the tissues involved in vision. Let's begin with the retina. This is one of the most metabolically active tissues throughout the whole body. Retinal photoreceptor cells are subjected to light at all times during the day, converting the light into electrical signals that are translated by the brain as images. This process is generating high rates of metabolic activity and inevitably free radicals, unstable molecules that may cause damage to lipids, proteins, and even DNA within the cells. And now when we sleep, the retina obtains a relief from exposure to light. Energy needs decrease, and this is when cells transition into high repair from high activity mode. One of the most important processes involved is DNA repair. Free radicals and ultraviolet light also damage the DNA within retinal cells, forming what researchers refer to as DNA breaks. If left unchecked, these breaks proliferate and disrupt cell function, helping to lead to degenerative disorders such as age-related macular degeneration. The antioxidants in blueberries, specifically anthocyanins and vitamin C, work in two respects. In the first place, by lowering the levels of free radicals to begin with, and second, by switching on pathways that aid in the repair of DNA. Anthocyanins were found in animal studies to upregulate some repair enzymes, in effect providing cells with the equipment necessary to preserve their genetic integrity in the long run. Another important mechanism is autophagy. I've spoken about this process a lot because it's one of the most fascinating areas of autophagy is the recycling program of the cell, literally self-eating. In autophagy, cells target and degrade damaged material, such as dysfunctional mitochondria and misfolded proteins. In the eyes, this is important because debris that gathers in retinal cells is a significant contributor to aging. Indeed, in diseases such as macular degeneration, researchers tend to discover clumps of waste material known as drosin amassing in the retina. They interfere with vision and cell survival. What's interesting is that autophagy function rises during the night, and while you are fasting, so if you have blueberries before nighttime, you're providing your body with a supply of polyphenols that seem to activate autophagy pathways. Substances such as resveratrol, which I have researched a great deal, are widely recognized to have this effect, but blueberry anthocyanins also appear to trigger similar cell cleanup processes. This is to say that faulty proteins and organelles within retinal cells can be purged out more effectively during sleep so that healthier parts can replace them. And then there's inflammation, low-grade chronic inflammation. What scientists tend to refer to as inflammaging is perhaps one of the most deleterious processes for aging tissue, including eye tissue. It disrupts blood flow, derails cellular signaling, and speeds degeneration. In the evening, when stress hormones such as cortisol naturally decline, the body gets a chance to heal inflammatory injury. Blueberries not only carry anthocyanins, but also other polyphenols that suppress NF8B, a pivotal molecular switch that perpetuates inflammation. By soothing this pathway at bedtime, you're really building a biochemical environment that promotes repair over continued damage. Another important factor is blood flow. The retina relies on an extensive array of small capillaries to bring oxygen and nutrients. With age, blood vessels tend to become hardened and the circulation drops, depriving tissues of what they require to heal. Blueberries improve endothelial function, the health of the cells lining blood vessels by increasing nitric oxide availability. Nitric oxide relaxes and widens blood vessels, improving circulation. Studies have shown that after consuming anthocyanin-rich foods, blood flow to microvascular tissues improves measurably within hours. Consuming blueberries prior to sleeping ensures that when you're sleeping, your retinal cells are receiving an improved supply of oxygen and nutrients at the very time they need it most. Melatonin, the hormone responsible for our sleep-wake function, is also involved in repairing the eyes. It's a free radical antioxidant itself, particularly in the retina, where melatonin activity occurs naturally during nighttime. There is some indication that blueberries contain some of the compounds that can promote the production of melatonin or even complement it in their action. Together with increased levels of melatonin, blueberry antioxidants provide a powerful defense against oxidative damage during the repair window of the night. And let's not forget about the mitochondria, our cell's energy power plants. Retinal cells contain some of the highest densities of mitochondria in the body because there is so much energy required for vision. These mitochondria are damaged by aging and oxidative stress and create energy deficits that cause cell function and survival impairment. Anthocyanins have been found to prevent mitochondrial membrane damage from oxidation and even induce the production of new mitochondria, a phenomenon known as mitochondrial biogenesis. Supporting mitochondrial function during the night means retinal cells wake up with improved energy stores to meet the metabolic challenges of the next day. Lastly, there's the issue of gene expression. Substances in blueberries are known to turn on some longevity pathways, such as the sirtuins, that regulate how cells react to stress and repair injury. My own work at Harvard has demonstrated that stimulating these pathways causes cells to live longer and perform better under stress. Consume blueberries at bedtime and you get delivered to the eye tissues polyphenols that activate these same mechanisms, effectively flipping genes to support repair, resilience, and healthy aging. When you put all of these effects together, DNA repair, autophagy, decreased inflammation, enhanced blood flow, healthier mitochondria, and positive gene expression, you begin to understand why consuming the proper nutrients at night can be so transformative for the health of your eyes. At night, as you sleep, your body is not only resting, but it's performing an orchestra of repair functions, and by providing the appropriate compounds in blueberries at just the right time, you enhance the body's own capacity to preserve and even repair vision as you get older. If we're discussing the strength of food in slowing down aging and healing injury, timing and technique are every bit as important as the ingredients themselves. This is particularly the case with eye health and the nighttime routine that prepares the way for repair overnight. Consume the right fruit at the wrong time or the wrong method of consumption, and many of its potential benefits may be dulled. Which is why it's important to know the optimal way to consume blueberries as a before-bed snack that can be the difference between just a snack or a potent longevity aid for your eyesight. Let's start with timing. Our bodies work on circadian rhythms, internal clocks that regulate everything from hormone levels to digestion to cell repair. Melatonin, the sleep trigger that revs up cellular repair, peaks naturally in the evening. If you eat too late at night, particularly heavy or high-sugar meals, you can foul up melatonin manufacture and throw your sleep cycle off. But having blueberries around 1 to 2 hours prior to bedtime allows your body to digest and process the nutrients without causing a blood sugar spike that would disrupt melatonin release. This timing is important because the anthocyanins, vitamin C, polyphenols, and flavonoids in the blueberries have to be in your bloodstream when your body starts doing its repair work at night. If you consume them too early in the day, most of their antioxidant activity peaks, while you're still being exposed to environmental stressors such as light and pollution. By the time evening arrives, levels could have fallen. Taking them nearer to bedtime makes sure that as your eyes transition from high work to high repair mode, these protective chemicals are available on hand to be delivered to areas of need. Portion size is also another serious consideration. Individuals tend to believe that a little good is good enough, and more is therefore better. But that isn't how the body functions. Consuming too much fruit during night can lead to digestive upset, added sugar consumption, and even sleeping problems if your body is too engaged in the process of digestion rather than rejuvenation. Studies indicate that approximately 1 cup of fresh blueberries, or the same amount in frozen or freeze-dried state, will provide the anthocyanins and other nutrients required for quantifiable health effects without clogging up the system. How about the type of blueberries? Fresh is best since it provides the complete range of nutrients, fiber, and water content. Frozen blueberries are a great alternative since most antioxidants are retained if freezing is undertaken promptly after harvest. Frozen blueberry powder or capsules may also be effective, particularly in clinical practice. But as I would frequently point out, whole foods contain synergistic compounds that supplements may miss. For example, whole blueberries' fiber component is delayed to release sugars into the bloodstream, with less likelihood for a glucose spike while enhancing gut health, something extracts cannot fully mimic. Combining blueberries with specific foods may also be beneficial for nutrient absorption. For instance, some of the antioxidants in blueberries are fat-soluble, so they are more bioavailable when consumed with healthy fats. Having them with a small serving of walnuts or almonds or even a small serving of Greek yogurt will enhance bioavailability. These pairings also contain other nutrients that help eyes, like vitamin E in nuts or probiotics in yogurt, which have anti-inflammatory effects elsewhere in the body. Another noteworthy fact is that consuming blueberries in their fresh state appears to retain the greatest antioxidant activity. Cooking them, like in a muffin, will destroy some of the volatile compounds like vitamin C. Therefore, blueberry muffins might be tasty, but they are not the optimum vehicle for delivering antioxidants to your retinal cells at night. Fresh, frozen, or lightly processed versions are best to help retain the strength of these compounds. There is also the issue of sugar content. Individuals who have diabetes or prediabetes often fret about consuming fruit at night. Blueberries contain a low glycemic index as compared to most fruits, meaning they do not lead to a sudden increase in blood sugar. It just so happens that blueberries, even when eaten frequently, have been demonstrated in studies to enhance insulin sensitivity over the long run, so they're an intelligent option, even for individuals who worry about blood sugar. Blending blueberries with protein or fat slows the release even more, producing an even ongoing supply of energy and not a rush followed by a crash. One handy trick is to include blueberries as a soothing part of a relaxing evening routine rather than a hasty snack. Slowing down, savoring, and getting your body ready for rest is important. Chronic stress increases cortisol, a hormone that not just messes with sleep, but also speeds up the aging process in tissues such as the eyes by establishing a quiet, deliberate ritual. Turning off the lights, refraining from screens, and having a small blueberry bowl with maybe some herbal tea. You align several longevity pathways simultaneously: improved quality of sleep, reduced stress, and improved delivery of nutrients. An additional layer to all of this is the gut microbiome. The polyphenols in blueberries are metabolized by gut bacteria into smaller compounds that can have even more powerful effects on human cells. A healthy microbiome actually amplifies the benefits of blueberry consumption. This means that eating a diverse, fiber-rich diet in general will help your body extract the maximum benefit from blueberries at night. Interestingly, some studies suggest that the gut microbiome itself follows a circadian rhythm, processing nutrients differently depending on the time of day. Evening consumption of polyphenol-rich foods like blueberries may provide compounds to the gut bacteria at a time when they can produce beneficial metabolites that circulate overnight, reaching tissues like the retina. And we shouldn't ignore hydration. Blueberries have water, though not sufficient to fulfill your body's fluid requirements. Proper hydration is needed for maximum blood flow and delivery of nutrients to the eyes. Having a small glass full of water with your nighttime blueberries can aid the process, though naturally you do not wish to be having to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night if it results in disturbed sleep. Lastly, consistency is everything. Having blueberries every now and again won't make waves. The protective chemicals in blueberries build up in tissues over the long term, such as the macula of the eye, where lutein, zeaxanthin, and other antioxidants create an actual shield from oxidative stress. Regular consumption delivers a continuous stream of these chemicals, generating long-term strength rather than short-term gains. Putting it all together, the timing, portion, food pairing, form, and consistency, having blueberries for dinner before bedtime turns from a humble nutritional selection into a smart, science-supported practice for safeguarding your eyesight as you age. It's a tiny tweak with possibly life-altering impacts on how your eyes heal and replenish every night, keeping them healthier well into old age. When we speak about aging, particularly where vision is concerned, it's tempting to get caught up in quick fixes, the new glasses, the new eye drops, or even surgery when issues get bad. But what science is increasingly revealing is that the little everyday routines that we build into our lives over the long term can completely change the course of our health as we get older. For the elderly, consuming the right foods close to bedtime, such as the nutrients in blueberries, is not merely for noticing a bit better tomorrow morning. It's about putting the odds in your favor for the decades and years to come, maintaining vision, independence, and quality of life. Let's take a step back and see why it means so much. Vision loss that occurs with aging is not mandatory, but it is widespread. Age-related macular degeneration, cataracts, and glaucoma are more frequent after age 60. Most older adults simply resign themselves to deteriorating vision as a natural consequence of aging, but the truth is that much of this impairment stems from mechanisms that we control: oxidative stress, inflammation, compromised circulation, and mitochondrial dysfunction. These are not arbitrary events. They're biochemical pathways that react to diet and lifestyle. When you regularly supply your body with the correct compounds, particularly at the correct times, you move these pathways from damage and decline to repair and resilience. Blueberries eaten every night before sleep fit into this by addressing multiple levels of long-term eye health. As we've already mentioned, the anthocyanins, vitamin C, and other polyphenols in blueberries all get to work when you're asleep, decreasing oxidative damage, enhancing circulation, and supporting cellular repair. But the truly potent benefits occur over months and years of regular intake. The antioxidant pigments in blueberries, including lutein and zeaxanthin, actually concentrate in the macula, the central region of the retina that is responsible for clear, high-definition vision. This is not a once-and-done proposition. The more you consume these substances on an ongoing basis, the greater the concentration builds up like a shield within your eye, blocking damaging blue light and rendering free radicals inactive before they can damage the sensitive photoreceptor cells. Research has established that individuals with higher macular pigment density, i.e., more of these protective substances accumulated in their eyes, are much less likely to experience age-related macular degeneration, a major contributor to blindness in elderly populations. Here's the really interesting part. This is a slow and gradual process. Intermittent blueberry consumption isn't going to make much difference, but eating them daily or almost daily for months builds up a store of protection within the retina itself.